brother! Then one of the most iconic symbols in Harry Potter and the man himself's most recognizable feature is the lightning bolt shaped scar on his forehead that he received from Voldemort the night he tried to kill him as a baby. Seriously, why is anyone afraid of Voldemort? He can't kill babies, he can't take over a high school, he can't even plan a wedding. And as far back as the first time I ever read Harry Potter, I remember just thinking, that is awesome having a lightning bolt shaped scar. And I kind of assumed that was just the point. Lightning is awesome. Well done, J.K. Rowling. But of course, as an adult, I am forced to look deeper and wonder how and why Harry came to have a lightning bolt shaped scar. Like, I mean, I know, poor James and Lily, but really, like, why specifically is it shaped like a bolt of lightning? Avada Kedavra, the killing curse, said to leave no trace, except then there's Harry with his lightning bolt scar. What is it about this curse that would cause such a shape? Well, one idea is simply that, much like you must swish and flick for Wingardium Leviosa, maybe you must zig and zag for Avada Kedavra. Like, the shape is literally just the way you move your wand when you cast the spell. And while I can see that making sense, there's really just no evidence of it in the book. Voldemort and the other Death Eaters are able to cast a spell just by pointing it or occasionally raising it above their head. By the way, minor pet peeve, I hate it in the movies when they're just like pointing their wands and say the words and it just comes out. I really feel like they should have had to like, you know, like cast it or like flick it or something. But if it's not the movement, then perhaps it is something more to do with the spell itself. Like, what is it that Avada Kedavra is doing that kills you? Is it literally just death in spell form, or is there something it's doing to your body that ends up killing you and leaves no trace, and so people just assume that's all it does? Well, let's jump back to the origins of the word to find out. Avada Kedavra comes from Aramaic, these symbols, which translates to let the thing be destroyed, which sounds pretty spot on, except that it's actually the complete opposite. Because when this phrase was developed, the thing in question was actually sickness, so you were destroying sickness. The spell was originally a healing thing, and somehow it got turned into a killing thing. The Aramaic phrase is also responsible for the origins of the most commonly well-known magic words, abracadabra, which first appeared in Liber Medicinalis, or Book of Medicine. Similarly, abracadabra was thought to cure diseases, but more specifically, malaria. Rather than saying the words out loud though, people were instructed to write the word down on a sheet of paper and then continue to rewrite it over and over, each time leaving off one letter until you ended up with something like this little pizza-shaped thing, and then you would wear it and it would protect you from malaria. I feel safer already. Yeah, take that, malaria. We have triangular paper. Starting to see why maybe these words were associated with killing people. But so, okay, let the thing be destroyed. Back to Harry Potter, what is the thing? Well, of course it's hard to say because the people who the spell is used upon are typically not in a state where they can tell you, because they're dead. But there are a couple of examples we can draw upon, and one might suggest that the thing is your soul? Voldemort does tell his Death Eaters that when the spell backfired on him, it felt like his soul was being ripped from his body. But it's hard to say if that's accurate. It could be simply unique to Voldemort because of his Horcruxes. Like, yeah, that's how it works. That's how you survive. That's what they do. They keep you anchored to the earth. But even if it is soul, then it doesn't totally make sense. It makes it sound like Avada Kedavra would accomplish the same thing the Dementor's kiss would. Like, you would still be alive, just a shell of a human without a soul. Which brings us back to Harry's scar, which I think might hint at the nature of the spell and what powers it. Namely, lightning. What if his scar is literally shaped like lightning because the spell is channeling lightning? Lightning would certainly kill you, or I mean, I know it can kill you. There are definitely people who survive being struck by lightning, which would seem to defeat this theory, but I would have to disagree with you. In Goblet of Fire, Moody, nay Barty Crouch Jr., says the entire class could point their wands at him and say the words, and he would probably get nothing more than a nosebleed. Which to me doesn't really make much sense. Like, what, like you could survive Avada Kedavra if the person casting the spell wasn't powerful enough? How do you know? There must be some other people that have survived, like Harry can't be the only one then. Where is your proof, Moody, nay, Barty Crouch Jr.? But in any case, that does line up with lightning, which typically would kill you, but might not, apparently. And there are actually other examples of lightning being associated with death in Harry Potter. For example, during the Quidditch match in Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry is able to see the Grim only because the lightning strikes and illuminates the death omen. And the chapter where Dumbledore dies, literally titled The Lightning Struck Tower. Even the green color of the spell could be explained. I mean, lightning can turn into a lot of different colors, but do you know what specifically turns it green? When it's destroying power breakers, like when it's removing power from things, making things dead, making them go dark. But the problem is, if you're struck by lightning, it definitely leaves a mark, like big, scorching, and sometimes, to the credit of this argument, lightning-shaped marks. I would show you a picture, but I'm honestly sorry I typed this into Google image search, and this is kind of like a family-friendly channel, so you can Google that on your own time. People struck by lightning. And the issue is that Avada Kedavra does not leave a mark, and if it was powered by lightning, I just can't see any way that it wouldn't. Like, there's just no way that people wouldn't have big, giant burns on them. But so then, what about Perry's scar? Well, maybe we've been examining the wrong spell. Remember, there were two spells in effect on the night in question, Avada Kedavra and Sacrificial Protection. We know a lot more about the spell, and specifically that Sacrificial Protection is powered by love, which got me thinking, could love leave a lightning scar? Maybe the bolt of lightning isn't a mark of the attacker, but a symbol of the defender. And actually, if we go back to the other examples from earlier, love fits better with lightning than death does. The Grim at the Quidditch match, while it's initially considered a death omen, it's ultimately revealed that it was Sirius who loved Harry so much that he was willing to risk being caught by Dementors just to watch Harry play. The lightning struck tower, yes, Snape kills Dumbledore, but again, it's misunderstood. It's a planned death, another sacrifice that Snape agrees to because of his love for Lily. And beyond those two examples, lightning is only mentioned 3 other times in the entire series. One is when Moody arrives in the Great Hall for the first time, and I'm gonna go ahead and say that one is literally just a thunderstorm outside. But the other 2 are pretty significant. One is in The Half-Blood Prince when Harry and Ron stumble upon Ginny and Dean snogging in a corridor. Here is Harry's response. Harry hardly noticed the sound of shattering glass. He felt disoriented, dizzy. Being struck by a lightning bolt must be something like this. Aw, because he loves her. And finally is when Dumbledore appears to Snape, who is about to ask him to save Lily's life from Voldemort. Then a blinding, jagged jet of white light flew through the air. Harry thought of lightning, but Snape had dropped to his knees and his wand had flown out of his hand. Any sound of Dumbledore apparating had been drowned by the sound of the wind in the branches. Dumbledore apparates by lightning, and what is his favorite brand of magic? Love. And on top of all that, here is a quote from J.K. Rowling about what the final line of the series was originally going to be. Only those whom he loved could see the lightning scar. Lightning equals love. Of course, J.K. Rowling also said the pain in the scar is caused by the piece of soul inside of Voldemort that's trying to escape through the same wound that it entered, and, you know, it's not supposed to leave a mark, and Voldemort did blow up the entire room, so maybe some rubble just hit Harry in the head in the coolest shape possible, and that's how the soul got in, and... But who knows? Personally, I think it's love. Ben, my question for you and everybody else is, what do you think? Why is his scar shaped like a bolt of lightning? Is it because of love? Does it represent death? Is it just rubble hitting him in the head? Let me know your thoughts in the towel section down below. Guys, thanks for watching. As always, please remember to like this video if you haven't already, and subscribe so you don't miss any future Harry Potter action from us. If you'd like to see how Nagini was possibly a woman before she became a snake, you can check out this video right here, or if you want to mix it up and see Ben and I answer a bunch of questions while playing Mario Kart, you can check out our gaming channel, Super Carlin Gaming, right here. But Ben, that's all I've got for you today, man. I will see you in another life, brother.